Right, the final video of the onboarding series before our call. So, this is just to make sure we are aligned. We know exactly where I stand, you stand, what we can expect of each other throughout this process. And I think with a coaching program, what I like to have for people is I want you to think of me as your business partner, right? And we are in the business of getting you an outstanding result. And if you think about how you would treat a business partner, you would keep them in the loop with what's going on. If there's anything that's going to be affecting your targets, maybe if things aren't going to be going as planned, if there's almost any detail that you would notify a business partner of, I need to know that stuff. Okay. And that's the relationship that I want to go into this with, because you really want your result. In order to be successful in my career and do what I need to do personally, I need you to get your result. And I want us to work together as a team to make sure, number one, we're progressing at the best possible rate that we can. And then number two, we're going to make it as easy as possible for you to do so and or when you maintain it, right? So that's the mindset I want to go into this process with, right? We are partners and our joint venture is getting you an outstanding result, okay? The next thing we're going to talk through is the weekly check-ins, okay? And there's two parts to this. There's a weekly check-in from you. So based upon your first initial, okay? So I think on Mondays, it's A to J. Tuesdays, it's K to R. And then S to Z on Wednesday. Okay, so depending on your first initial will be when you need to provide feedback and then you will receive feedback. So if on those initials, so A to J, K to R, S to Z, I will, so if you are A to J, I will always give you your feedback on a Monday, which means you need to have it to me on a Sunday. Okay. If it's K to R, it means your feedback will be delivered on a Tuesday. So any updates from you, I need on the Monday. And S to Z, so anyone from Zara to Zach, you need to be giving me your feedback before Tuesday so I can update you on the Wednesday. Okay. I hope that makes sense. And what I want from everyone at the end of every single week is a update. A lot of people these days will give me a video update, which is probably the preferred option. Very, very straightforward. Similar to what I'm doing now, actually. Everyone will just open up their camera like this. They will then lean it on something in front of them, and they simply will just give me a talking update. How's everything going? Somewhere like between like 3 and 6 minutes generally seems to be the norm. A bit of an overview of how you're feeling. I will run through this in a bit more depth of what I want to hear back from you, and depending on what we're working on, there may be a more specific stuff I want feedbacking on. You can send me a voice note if you want to, or you can just send me a written update. However, just make sure you do this, right? It's all well and good me seeing how much you weigh, how many steps you're doing, all this sort of stuff. But you're a human, right? You're not a robot. If you were just a robot, this might be fine. But I need to know a bit of an insight from you. One of the key things within this as well is when people do update me, you'll tell me things that you may not realize you're telling me. For example, you may reference something about how you think nutrition works, and I might say, well, that's completely black to front. Like, we need to make sure your knowledge is evolving as you go through this process, so you know how to correct that in the future, perhaps. And people, as they're just giving me talking about how the gym went, how nutrition went, you'll let slip out a lot of things that I'll say, oh, it's interesting you thought that, because that's definitely not how it works, and here's how you should probably be looking at it. And this is a really key psychological component, is when we start unpacking these things as we go through, a lot of cool changes happen on the level of the mindset. So make sure you're on top of that. Every week I will be updating you. So how it works is I've got an update and feedback from you. I will have the nutrition stats, which you'll be tracking for me, which I'll run through later. I'll have everything you've done in the gym. I will then be running through and reviewing everything and asking myself the question, very simply, if you carry on doing what you're doing, will you get to your result? If the answer is yes, I will make it very clear your job is just to continue executing something that's clearly working. If the answer is no, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to change, how to do it, and how we need to be managing it before next week. Okay, so very, very straightforward. You're either going to be smashing it or we need to correct it. Okay, that is how that bit works. Let me know if you have any questions on that. Response time, I'm pretty good with response times, to be honest. Like, I generally say, like, worst case scenario, allow 24 hours, just in case I'm up to something for whatever reason. But yeah, just be patient. Allow it up to 24 hours if you send me a message and I don't get back to you. 24 hours is a reasonable update, but to be honest with you, like, I clear my any messages I have on a daily basis. I don't work weekends, so I mean, the odd one I might, but it's safe to assume that between the hours of 9 and 5, I'm available. Outside of those hours, Monday to Friday, I'm not available. Okay, there shouldn't be at any given point in a program that you should know what you're doing. If it's getting to the point and it's Saturday afternoon and you don't know what you're doing, we've definitely dropped the ball somewhere. Okay, that shouldn't be the case. This is a big one: effort and mindset. What do I want from you? My job is to do the thinking in this, right? My job is to lay out the steps that you need to complete. Your job is to just pour as much effort as you can into the steps, right? Sometimes people put a little bit too much effort, and I will let you know if that's the case, but just have this mindset towards it of, I'm just going to try my best. I'm going to, like Craig's done this a lot of times. It's an interesting thing is that we all think we are very unique, but when it comes to a lot of this stuff, human beings are very, very similar. It's not like, if you're a vet and then you're dealing with like a horse one day and a gerbil the next, like they are very different, right? Human beings are human beings, right? And even when we're working with people who are diabetic, athletes, people who are out of shape, we have more common denominators than we have differences, right? So you just need to trust that I really know what I'm doing in this process and give me the reins. And your job is to put effort into this. And I just want you to have the mindset of just being persistent with this process, right? Like, anyone can crack this. Anyone can crack this. You will have setbacks. It's going to be your reaction to those setbacks that needs to be key. And if you get knocked off track, the biggest thing I'm trying to encourage people to do, the people who get the best results, we all get knocked off track in a process like this. The people who get the best results are the people who can bounce back the quickest. Okay, that is the key. People who will stay out of shape forever, they make one mistake, they'll give up for a month and then they'll try again. It's ridiculous. Versus the people who you look at and you think, wow, they're in great shape. They'll still have a few drinks, eat too much at times, but they'll be right back on it the next day. Okay, that's the biggest mindset I want you to go into this process with. Okay, and the last thing, whenever we are done, if you come into the end of your program, you're coming to the end of the result that you want to get. All I ask for everyone is just to give me 30-day heads up whenever you want the program to finish. If not, it is a ongoing rolling structure, which is what we want for you. I know you might go into this process thinking we want to get from A to B as quickly as possible, but I really do encourage people to say, like, look, do this process once, do it properly, and then you are set for life, right? And all I ask, so we can keep this going as long as we need to till you've got all the tools and confidence you need. But whenever we're going to come and bring the program to an end, all I ask is a 30-day heads up, just to give me the opportunity to make sure I've got another client who's ready to take your spot. Okay, I hope all that makes sense. If you have any questions, of course, like I said, on the setup call, we'll run through it. I will wrap the video there because it's been nearly 8 minutes, but I'm excited to catch up. Hopefully you've done the photos. Please make sure you've done those and the questionnaire. And then if you've got any questions from any of these videos, just bring them to the call and I can make sure we iron anything out.